The Joe Rogan Experience.
Statistically, they said 5% of us will be dead. It's not even
Well, they thought
0.1%. Okay,
this is what they thought.
But they're the all-powerful gods. It's like the UN says, you will not question us. Big Tech says, you will not question anything the UN says. Meanwhile, the UN's like, oh, we shouldn't do a lockdown. It's killing millions of people, starvation. But still, it's like, we're keeping the lockdown going, the United Nations said.
Well, what do you think should be done?
I mean, I think we should look at something that isn't much worse than the flu and say we all need natural vitamins and nutraceuticals and sunlight and health, and people should just know they got to deal with it the way it is, because we always get diseases, we always get viruses, we always live with it. The idea we got to lock society down and go into our houses, and this is a post-industrial move that they're using to roll out these systems to keep us locked down in our homes.
Right, and if you want to be cynical, this is where you step in and say the reason why they want us to be upset and they want the economy to be fucked is because they hate the president and they want him out of office and they want to regain power. They want the Democrats in office.
They want to remake the American economy in the image of what they want. They want to remake a lot of these systems that they feel are, for whatever reason, unjust or unjust or whatever, and they want to use this opportunity to kind of redraw the lines. And
exactly.
They did that after 9/11.
Exactly. This is the new 9/11. The UN and the Davos group all say this is the post-industrial world, the Great Reset. I got a copy of it for it right here. And they say in these documents, we are going to reorganize society. COVID is good to shut down the carbon. Carbon is bad. We're going to end success. We're going to end prosperity. We're going to track everybody. We're going to control their lives, all under the name of COVID.
They said all that? They said we're going to end success. We're going to end prosperity.
Yeah, in the Lockstep Rockefeller document 2010, they say we'll have a viral release or a simulated one that creates total fear. We'll bring in a police state, martial law.
Is this available for someone to read?
Absolutely.
Alex, wasn't there something called Agenda 21 or something where they were saying we want people living in cities, we don't want home ownership.
Compact cities, yeah.
Yeah,
and then you were saying it earlier, they go, oh, it's for the greater good that we don't have cars anymore. It's for the greater good we have don't have
that's not what I was saying. What I was doing was playing devil's advocate.
You were quoting them.
Yeah, what I was saying,
I'm not saying you said that, Joe. You believe in that.
I was saying that I do believe in cars too. Autonomous vehicles are, in the future, at least, likely to be safer than people just driving and texting.
Well, it's not safe giving control over these corporations and robots and making ourselves obsolete. We need to build a pro-human future.
Well, I'm pro-human. But
no, I know you are. I'm not saying you're not, Joe.
The Rockefeller thing from 2010. Sounds a weird segue. I'm pro-human.
I was already looking this up as he mentioned it because I was going down my own little rabbit hole. It says, when I first started to find it, my first search just says there's a large conspiracy has been built out of a small grain of truth from this document from 2010.
Okay.
That's what it starts to say. So I haven't.
Oh, is that Snopes?
Small grain of truth.
Yeah.
So Snopes is like God. It's like
I don't think is it Snopes that you Googled.
Let's focus on the grain of truth.
No. Who says it's a grain of truth?
I'm trying to hold on. I got a lot.
No. It's Operation Lockstep, and it says a global police state will be brought in from a pandemic, and there'll be worldwide martial law. It actually says it in the document.
Okay.
It's like they always go like, oh, there's no Hunter emails. They admit the emails are real.
Right.
I love that clock.
It is weird that they're saying GGT Studios.
Okay,
Wait, it is weird.
Here's the document.
Okay. The Rockefeller Foundation Annual Report 2010.
I'll control F. What would you like me to look up?
Look up police state. Look up.
Just look up police state.
I forget the exact words. I mean, let's just go read it for yourself, man.
Control F police state.
Nothing came up.
This is just one paper. That's it.
I mean, that's the whole PDF is here. It's really, really, really long.
So when you control F police state, nothing. Okay. What else?
I mean, I've read it before. It says that. So anybody can go read it right now.
So you think they edited it?
No. I can't remember the exact words.
Okay, well, let's look up pandemic. Look up pandemic.
Pandemic just means widely distributed. Epidemic means you're actually sick.
4 mentions of the word pandemic.
Okay. All right. With no network to transfer critical infectious disease information without open lines of communications, thousands more fall sick. The new, in quotes, disease becomes an unchecked pandemic. By the time the right expertise is brought to bear on the problem, it's too late. The disease has spread around the globe. In a world of global trade and travel, what's traded faster and travels furthest are the microbes in every handshake. Southeast Asia. So what is this in reference to? Okay, it says a few miles east, young boy and his men. Hold on, please go back to that. Yeah, it's just a scenario that they're painting. So make that a little larger. No, go back to it. Just go back to where it was. All right. The potential pandemic of the past few decades have severely tested the world's ability to work across human borders. Detection remains weak in many parts of the world. The public health response has frequently been slow and fragmented. The looming threat of infectious disease presents humanity with a new challenge to communicate and collaborate swifter and with greater efficiency than ever before. That doesn't sound like they're trying to end the world.
Okay, well, you're just reading one of these documents. I can pull up the articles. I can show it to you yourself.
But
it's world government controlled. They talk about a worldwide police state. You search the term pandemic. I'm telling you what's in these things.
Okay, emerging pandemics, the new century, SARS, avian flu, and swine flu. If we don't move
investigated systems to bring in global government.
It seems like they're trying to prevent pandemics. If we don't move quickly, viruses will. By continuing our drive to invest in systems that coordinate efforts and share information, the Rockefeller Foundation is working to ensure
which is the global
that we
government
have the
controlling
ability
all of this
to meet the health challenges of an interconnected world.
Isn't the perfect analogy terrorism? Because it's like terrorism exists. People want to prevent terrorism, but it's like, how many rights do you give up in order to do that? And then, all these proactive measures that we take to prevent terrorism, a lot of them create more terrorists. So I think it's like a balance of remaining a free society and dealing with a lot of these problems.
Listen, I sit here, we sit here and we talk about something, and whether Jamie can find it or not becomes the arbiter whether it's real. So they found something about an AT&T lobbying. They didn't find a thing about this. I've got the Operation Lockstep documents where they say we're going to bring in this global authoritarian police state.
You have to show us those.
Well, I mean, I'm sitting here in studio talking to you about this.
But I understand. I
That's
understand
all
what you're saying, but we wanted to try to
But
read
everybody else watching this is going to go look it up.
Well, I hope they do.
They're going to go crazy.
I hope
that's good.
I wish we could have found it right then if it's real.
No, I know you want to show it.
But it might be an interpretation of what they're saying, like the Whitmer quote.
No, it says specifically.
The Whitmer quote is just a criticism of Trump. She's blaming all this lockdown.
No, Whitmer was
Trump.
found by the Supreme Court of Michigan and by a federal court to have seized all three branches of governments and basically set up martial law. They even used those terms. And she was overturned.
When you say in that quote, I want to, when you say if you are sick of lockdowns and you're sick of not being able to go to church, Joe Biden should be elected.
Agreed.
That is not a huge jump from what he said.
No, it's not a huge jump.
Yeah.
But the problem is the way it's being said, she was talking about how bad Trump handled the rate of infection first.
Of course. And that's
all right, well, let's expand on that. I remember interviewing Lou Dobbs 15 years ago, back when he was still on CNN, and we were looking at documents where it said we're going to bring in global government in the North American Union using the threat of viruses, migration flows, and economic collapse. And they said like a deadly flu or a deadly SARS.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here watching this power grab, watching the UN and big tech saying, well, you can't say that the UN's wrong because the UN's in charge. Since when is the news, WHO, and all these doctors, all these medical doctors that come out and say other things other than them, like how steroids cured it or, how hydroxychloroquine helped it, how are they being banned? Even if they were wrong, they should have their license removed. That's what that's about. It's not Google decides that if something isn't the UN, it's taken down. That's all I'm saying.
Archive.org I found.
Okay.
I went to the second page of this link, but this is like scenario narratives. It says Lockstep. Mm-hmm. It talks about pandemics from 2012 and the SARS and all sorts of H1N1. So I skipped into the next page while you guys were talking. And this is the part that's a little strange, which is getting into what I think he is now talking about.
Where's that? Can you highlight it?
It started here because it says something about Kenya in 2025 and people being weary of top-down
Okay, by 2025, people seem to be growing weary of so much top-down control and letting leaders and authorities make choices for them. Wherever national interest clashed with individual interest, there was conflict. Sporadic pushback becomes increasingly organized and coordinated as disaffected youth and people who have seen their status and opportunities slip away, largely in developing countries, incited civil unrest. By 2026, protesters in Nigeria brought down the government. Fed up with the entrenched cronyism and corruption, even those who liked the greater stability and predictability of this world began to grow uncomfortable and constrained by so many tight rules and by the strictness of national boundaries. The feeling lingered that sooner or later something would inevitably upset the neat order that the world's governments had worked so hard to establish.
Okay, I never read that, but that's the other stuff. It's in there. I'm telling you, it's thousands of pages, man.
Episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience are now free on Spotify. That's right, they're free. From September 1st to December 1st, they're going to be available everywhere. But after December 1st, they will only be available on Spotify, but they will be free. That includes the video. The video will also be there. It'll also be free. That's all we're asking. Just go download Spotify. Much love. Bye-bye.